So when we come out on the field and everybody has done their pre-practice stuff, and you guys have been with all these position coaches, and I'm sure that they've gone over a lot of stuff, okay? What I normally have done until this time is I've been in, you know, quarterback meeting, whatever. They're out doing their thing. Coach Beckles has probably done something. Silvoy and Gino have probably been doing something, you know, some type of pre-practice deal. But when I walk on the field, normally within 5 minutes, I've got a clock set, and I know exactly what time that we're going to start perfect drill. And so, you know, you guys know the story. Most of you, years ago, we used to call it noose drill. We quit calling it that when I was at Cal. Perfect drill means that every single thing that we do is going to be perfect. It's the best way to start practice. I used to do it for 5 minutes. We only do it for 2 minutes now. Okay, 2 minutes. Everybody usually gets maybe 1 rep. Occasionally somebody might get 2 reps. The quarterback is going to get usually around 5 to 6 reps. Okay? So when we come out on the field, the organization of the way that you see it right there, coaches, if y'all would go to where you would be, and Brent, you be me down at the far end, you're coaching the drill. So we're at our home deal, and if you look at the organization of it, so Brent is the starting quarterback. So I always have the quarterbacks lined up according to where they are on the depth chart. So for you guys, most of you don't have but 2 or 3 guys, right? So Brent would be 1. The next quarterback would be 2. And say you've got your 9th grader out there and he's 3. And then you may be, that's all the people that you need. But then again, if you've got like 3 running backs, 4 running backs, you've got 2 or 3 H's, 2 or 3 Y's, 2 or 3 X's, and 2 or 3 Z's, you can still set it up with either 5 groups, 4 groups, 3 groups, however it is that you want to set it up. But what we want it to be is we want it to be coached. Okay, because this, to me, this is where practice starts, and these coaches will tell you that this is where I become a dick, okay, if I hadn't already been one as the day starts. So when we come up, Coach Beckles is with the running backs, so he's got it. Gino's with the inside. Shane is with another group of receivers, and then we got Wolf down here, and we got Coach Silvoy. So we got X's, Z's, Y's, H's, et cetera. Quarterbacks. So what I do now is I'm going to come out and I'm going to go, all right, here we go. Let's go. Perfect drill's going to start. Perfect drill's going to start. Hey, hey, hey. We got north, stick right, north, stick right, north, stick right. So I've called the play out. So Brent now as the quarterback, if we're lucky, we've got our offensive line. We've got a center snapping here. The next center snapping here, but if not, he's going to spin the ball himself. I'm not waiting on the centers to get there. Some days they're there, some days they're not. So if not, he's going to spin it, catch it, and then he's going to do exactly what he would do. He's going to go through read progression, okay? And so I'm going to do the quarterback first, and then we'll do the receiver deal, okay? So right now, I've got north stick right, north stick right. So Brent's going to spin catch. He's going to go stick, arrow, backside. He's going to move, move, move. And in the meantime, the receiver has run the route and gone through and done his little deal, okay? So that's what the quarterback is doing. I'm watching him to see, did he go through his eyes? Were his eyes in the right place? Did he get through progression? On his 3rd read, did he move in the pocket? Did he avoid the rush on his 3rd read? Is the ball placed up properly? When he throws the ball, does he throw the ball away from the defender? Because you'll see here with the receivers how they do that. So I'm going to turn it over to Coach Silvoy.
All right, so right here, receivers are going to line up. They're going to be in a perfect stance, low pass, hands are up, ready to fight. They're going to work a foot fire release. All right, they're going to release the hand. All right, and then he's going to be about quarter speed. All right, working to the next move. He's concentrating on sticking his foot in the ground as hard as he can. While the defender is following him, he's getting hands on him. And we're telling this receiver, do not let this guy touch him. Have violent hands, break his wrist, get him off. He's going to stick on the first cone. So start it off with him. Working. I'm getting hands on him. Defender stay with him. Stop right here. He's working back to the quarterback. As soon as he gets to this position right here, he's freezing. He's over-exaggerating. He's going as slow as he can, watching that ball into the top, and then he's drop stepping away from the defender. When the quarterback throws it to the side, you trust the quarterback and drop step wherever he throws it. You're going to be low, drop your pads, rip through. Now you're going through the gauntlet, 2 hands on the ball, going through track. And then after that, the next player rotates, we go through again.
Anybody have any questions on any details of that. Any questions at all? If you think for 1 second that this is not important, because I know coaches right now, to be honest with you, I could name you a really, really famous coach who back a few years ago told me he doesn't do this anymore because he thinks it's the biggest waste of time at all. The good thing is he's making a hell of a lot of money, so it doesn't really matter, but he sucks now, okay? And in my opinion, the moment that you don't think that this is important is probably the moment that you've got enough money that it doesn't fucking matter anymore, okay? You just don't really give a shit anymore. I don't have that money right now, so, you know, I still need to fucking win some games, all right? So when we do this, again, for me, for the quarterback, I'm going to go through, like a lot of times I'll have a play call list, and I'll be giving him different stuff. And then as the season goes on, it just depends upon, you know, like if we've got new stuff, like if I've got something new for Brent, so I go out and I go, hey, North Flame Pop, Holy Water Double. North Flame Pop, Holy Water Double. So that's a new play for the day, a new concept for the day, and I'm making sure that I'm saying the read progression to him, and then he's going through the read progression for himself. Okay? Coaches, anything that I've missed? Any old coaches? Anything I've missed? Hatch, anything you're doing on this different at all? Okay, let's go to the next phase. When we finish this, I'll go, hey, pat and go, pat and go, pat and go, pat and go. So normally, somewhere around 1 minute and 45 seconds, we now go into pat and go. And so when we do this, they're going to set up the drill for us. You guys set it up however y'all want it. And then I'll explain to you the details of doing that. We're going to get the whole deal set up. And you guys, again, you'll see this tomorrow when I show you the practice flow drill all the way through.
You can say this is how you evaluate your coaches, because you know how you're always on the coach's ass.
Yeah. Okay. Brent made a really good point here, and this is true. This, honest to God, is how I evaluate coaching. Okay? And Coach Silvoy has coached camps for a long time, and he also played in this offense, okay? And he's a phenomenal pat-and-go coach. And he's also had his ass motherfucked unmercifully, okay? Coach Gino has had his ass motherfucked unmercifully. Wolf has had his ass motherfucked unmercifully, okay? Bulls, he's perfect, but he's been motherfucked unmercifully, okay? Because to me, this phase is how I see if guys are coaching football or not. Are they good coaches or not? Do they really, truly pay attention? 112 days in, how well does Silvoy coach pat and go? 112 days in, okay? And I'll tell you guys this right now. Shane played for us and played every position. I can tell you, I know coaches when I see them. If you want to hire a good football coach, I don't know what he's going to do after life, you know, and all that stuff, but you better hire this guy. He knows everything. He knows how to coach it. And last year when he was hurt, he coached all along, trying to help you out. I get a kick out of it, too, somewhere along the way. Okay? All right. So when we set this deal up, this has changed again dramatically. Over the years, if you go watch Pat and Go, and Hatcher, I know, just went and probably watched some Pat and Go for some other people, is that it's a real lackadaisical deal. Everybody's kind of just going through the motions. Nobody's in a hurry. Nobody's really paying attention. Did they look the ball in? Did they tuck the ball away? Again, every single detail of what you should do is going to be done in this. This is my individual period. I've got an individual period that's going to last about 6 or 7 minutes, and every single thing in football that's important to us is going to be in this rotation. So the way that we line it up is that we start with outside receivers, either X's or Z's here. Gino's got either Y's or H's there. Jeff's got running backs that start there. Then we've got X's or Z's there, and then we've got Y's or H's here. So that's where they start every day. And then there's a coach that has each station. So we'll start with, the first thing is I'll start with the QB, and then I'll let Silvoy do the receiver play from there. Okay? So with the quarterback, we just had a good talk a while ago about throwing back shoulder, throwing pat and go fades. All right? This is how you learn to be great at pat and go. This is how you learn to do this, which is to throw press fades. Press to where the guy is better than you. This is how you learn to defeat it. You want to know how to beat press? This is how you beat press, is getting great at this drill. So the quarterback is going to take he's going to pat the ball and then they go. He's going to take a one-step drop. One step, his feet are going to get incredibly hot. His rule is never what?
Never overthrow.
Never overthrow. You want to hear some motherfucking come to practice and have about 2 throws in a row, make a guy run and bust his ass, and the ball's thrown too far. I'm motherfucking, okay? I'm motherfucking somebody. I'm fucking dog cussing them. Because their deal is, if you get a guy that wins, if I get on Silvoy and I get here, the only way this doesn't work is if you throw the ball too far. If you throw the ball outside and you underthrow, I'm going to make the play. But if you overthrow, I did all this work, I got leverage, and here I am, and you tried to throw the ball deep. We want the ball to die outside before 27 yards. We want every catch to be the same to where it's outside. So the quarterback's job is to drop the ball off a cliff and to develop touch, okay? So he's going to do that with hot feet and then with discipline and learn how to drop the ball off a cliff to the outside to throw the football. So that's his job. Let's watch him do 1 rep, and then I'm going to let Silvoy coach that. Good. So the ball is up. He's got air on the ball. The ball's going to die outside, and if the ball doesn't die outside, the receiver's going to work back in to where he makes the ball fade to the outside. Okay, Coach Silvoy?
You saw the example. The receiver's coming up. He's getting in a perfect stance. There's going to be a defender in front of him. We want that defender to give him about 2 yards of space because we want these guys practicing on their foot fire and gaining ground with their foot fire. They're going to work a low release, foot fire, stick release, getting the hands off. As soon as they get even with it, we're working to get back on top, get back vertical. Now my eyes are popped, my shoulders are square. I'm looking for the ball up in the air. As soon as I see that ball, if it's overthrown or it's underthrown, I'm going to just slow down and I'm forcing that ball to fall over my outside shoulder. Otherwise, perfect ball thrown, I'm going to keep running, and then face the ball late. I'm going to freeze that ball. I'm going to take a picture of it with my eye, watch it all the way into the top, and then I'm going to take it high and tight, working my chest ball all the way to the next drill, and I'll hand it to Coach Gino.
And the one thing that you'll hear Silvoy repeat language-wise over and over and over again, you'll hear him if you come and watch practice, he'll say, freeze it, freeze it, freeze it, freeze it. And I love that verbiage because I never did it, but he started doing that, you know, a couple of years ago. I heard him start using that verbiage, and I think that verbiage really sticks with our kids. It really gets into them and do it. So let's do 1 more rep of it. Watch yourself just a little bit there. So, perfect. Okay, ball dies outside, falls off the ledge, all right? When he gets the ball now, this is up here, and when I set this up, and you'll see it tomorrow, we set this cycle up, this stage up, this next drill is about 35 yards up the field. The quarterback knows the ball should never go further than 27 yards when we throw a pat and go fade, okay? So the next drill starts about 35 yards up the field, and Gino will let you coach this.
This is the Welker drill.
Can you stand close to him so that your microphone?
This is the Welker drill, okay? For the inside guys, we changed up. We're going to go 3 steps. For the outside guys, it's just a 1-step jab. Here, I like to stand here. If you have an extra quarterback or somebody who can throw anybody, they can come out here and throw the ball for you so you can coach this and be in there here the whole time. So Shane's playing inside. We're telling him 3 steps. He's sticking on his... You got it, good. 1, 2, 3. Stick. And I'm here and I'm straight up. Look, up the field, up the field, up the field, burst the field. I'm trying to tell him, look, when you get here, stick, straight up the field, and burst in 3 steps. All right? And then for the outside guys, they're just taking a 1 step. So if you're coaching this, you're going to need to move down so their angle is at you. All right? So he goes. Same deal. Stick. 1 step is right. And then on to, then he works on, same deal to Coach Beck.
Do the 1 step.
Yes, sir. Stick, look at the top, part straight, good, good. First 3, good.
So for all these years, we've always said from the Hal Mummy days, you know, Coach Mummy always did a great job of saying get straight up the field, straight up the field, straight up the field. And then Wes Welker came along, and we used to tell our guys, you know, Welker does the best job of getting straight up the field, so we finally just named it Welker. So we just tell our guys to Welker it, and they all know what it is. They knew who Wes Welker was, and they all did that. So Jeff? So after Shane just did that, he's now at Coach Beckles' drill.
All right, here we go. Brent, come be my quarterback for me. All right, so we'll also have a quarterback over here at this drill right here.
And a quarterback, again, could be a parent, an equipment manager, anybody, doesn't matter. Jeff can throw it, anybody can.
All right, so what we're working on right here is ball security right here. Okay, so the running backs always start off at this station. So we're going to start it off with the running back doing it. So Shane's going to be on either side of the quarterback, and what he's going to do is he's going to slide and dive, all right, what we call slide and dive to get the football. So obviously he's going to slide, he's going to dive. What I'm looking for at that point, okay, is Shane's eye. All right, he should not be looking at the football. All right, he should be looking straight ahead, looking at his read, looking at his aiming point. He's not looking at the football. All right, so then once he gets the football, now we go into high knee. The reason I do high knee is because I don't want him to just get it and take off. All right, I want him to get it and work high knee so that I can coach them up on their ball security, so I can see their ball security. Okay, so start from the top. All right, there you go, bam. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm looking at his ball security. Look at him right here, all right, you see his pads are down, all right? You see where the nose of the ball is underneath his chin, okay? Nose of the ball is underneath his chin. He has the ball, he's rubbing his tip right here with the ball, okay? The ball is on the top part of his numbers, all right? Now, I'm saying this as a running back, okay? But if you look at everybody that carries the ball, okay, from Middle Tennessee, they carry the ball the same way. We take pride in that. We all carry the ball the same way. We have the 5 pressure points covered. We're at the top of the number. The tip of the ball is underneath our chin. We're covering up our numbers, and our elbows are tight. All right? If you're behind me, you should not see the football. All right? You should not see the football because we're covering it up with the nose of the ball, covering up our numbers. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. I'm standing out in front of him. I'm looking at his eyes, making sure his eyes are not watching the ball. All right, and then as he gets it, boom. Now I'm coming over here on this side, and I'm actually trying to knock that thing out. All right, as he's going behind me through that area. Okay, when the receivers get up here, okay. Receivers are going to do a fast screen. Receivers get up here, they're going to do the same thing, and they're just going to do a fast screen, okay? Fast screen is that's 2 quick steps and then 1 jab step, and then they're being a big target for the quarterback, okay? I always teach the receivers to put the ball in the outside arm, okay? So that's away from the quarterback. So since they're putting it in the outside arm, I stand over here on this side, so then when he does catch it, I can see their ball security, I can see him put it up, and again, they're high knee, so I can sit there and look at ball security, get it from the back, get it from all angles right there. You tell them high knee so they don't take off out of there before you get a chance to really coach them up. Okay, so we'll do it one more time, just do it full speed. So I'm right there, I'm watching him, making sure, eye tight, here we go, good, yep, and then he goes on to the next station right there.
So basically you have 2 different ways. Jeff starts it with the running back, then when the receiver comes up, they're doing the same thing, but it's a ball security station. When you get to the next phase, we're now doing our pat and go route back down the other side. So again, we started over here with an outside receiver. Brent's throwing the ball. Exact same details. Shane has gone through the cycle now. He's going through the cycle. So he's at the 4th part of his cycle. So the one thing I liked about this, and I know Coach Hatcher remembers this from years gone by, if you do just normal the way that most people do pat and go, you have 2 lines. You got one on the right, one on the left. You got 15 guys in one line, 18 in the other line, okay? So the guy catches a ball, stands in the back of the line and fucks around for 2 minutes waiting for his turn to come up. Our guys start with about, 4 guys in a line, 4 or 5 guys in a line, and they don't have rest time in between. By the time they get to the next station, they're up and they're ready to go. And so they're moving all the way through. They're always doing something. They're not wasting time in the back of a line. So that was the purpose in building this over the years, to get it to where it was a more effective use of time. Because my goal, and Coach Hatcher's going to talk about it tomorrow, my goal is to practice the shortest amount of time humanly possible and get the most amount of work done. So now we're back over to the other phase, and it's just the next deal. Same, another quarterback throwing the pat and go fade back down to the other side. He's releasing. Oh, that's a lot of good air right there. And he's going to catch it and transfer it down just like he did on the other side. And now when he gets down to the final part here, he's down to Coach Wolf, Coach Schaefer. And Coach Schaefer is going to have a couple of different things to where that he can teach two different things, to where that he can do a low pad level drill where he's trying to avoid contact of a second level defender as well as blocking. So we'll let him go through those.
All right, so we'll start with the block. It's important. Being a drill where you're coming from pad and go, a lot of times these guys will just roll right in and block. So what we started doing was we had him set up away from the bag, about 5 to 7 yards away from the bag, and he can either line up right over the top of the bag, inside the bag, give an outside leverage defender, or outside the bag, giving an inside leverage defender. And what this forced them to do is they had to close the gap to the defender. So you're going to close the gap, and then once you close the gap, you get about halfway from the defender, you get wide base, fast feet, getting your feet hot, just like Shane showed right here. Now the key here, see how he has independent feet? What we mean by independent feet is you always have one foot in the ground. So something that we've seen a lot that causes problems is you get a lot of young guys who haven't been coached up on keeping hot, independent feet, so they'll start hopping into a block. So hop into your block, and what happens there is both your feet are off the ground, so if that defender will hop into it. If that defender tries to move inside, he beats you to the point of attack because both of your feet are off the ground. So if you have hot feet, he comes here and you can move laterally. It's like playing defense in basketball. So once you close the gap, get your feet hot, low pads, sink your hips, you're going to drive your hands through, keeping your eyes high. You want your eyes up to the sky because your hands are going to follow your eyes. And after that, you want your hands to punch up through with your fingertips and thumbs facing up. You want to punch through that V in the neck. When you punch through that V in the neck, the next thing is once your hands are extended, you want to bring your hips. So we're talking about all this off-season training in the weight room, right? So you tell these kids if they're not bringing their hips, think about hand cleaning. Your hands and your hips are going to follow your hands, right? Get your explosiveness. So you shoot your hands up high, fingertips and thumbs up high, bring your hips, drive through that bag. Another thing that we've seen, Shane, you be the defender in the bag in this case. Come through, these guys are pad taking. So they just push the bag down on the ground, pushing their hands low. What we wanted to see is when you punch up through that V in the neck, you want to drive your hands up. Once you drive through that bag, you go to the next bag, keep wide base your neck all the way through, keep great fundamentals. Now the other bag that we would use is the dip and rip to avoid a defender. So Shane can show here. You want the same thing, start with a good stance. You want to attack the bag. You want to attack the bag. You want to close the gap, get your toes stick, drop your pad level, drop your shoulders so that bag is going to rub right up against that. Your back is going to rub right up against that defender. In this case, the bag. You want to stack back vertical. You do the same thing, stick, low pads, drop that shoulder, rip up through and finish through.
Okay, so when they go through, that's one cycle. So the first cycle is finished, and now they come back and they're starting the second cycle. So for him to go through this one cycle all the way through is going to take him about 3 minutes. So now he starts on the second cycle. The quarterback's job is the same, except now the throw changes. Shane was the first guy in the drill, so Shane's going to look at the quarterback and he's just going to tap his shoulder and tell him that now it's a back shoulder throw. So go ahead and coach this up.
So as soon as I see the first guy come back and throw the whole rotation, I'm throwing back shoulder, back shoulder, back shoulder. Eyes and four, eyes and four, eyes and four. So we're getting in the same position. Defender's going to be 2 yards off, working a foot fire release, sticking, he's going to stack back on top, he's going to keep his speed, but now he's popping his eyes at 4 steps, keeping his speed, keeping his shoulders square, and he's reacting to the ball. As soon as he sees the ball, he's opening up his hips, all right, he's freezing the ball all the way into the top, all right, dropping his shoulder, finishing the route, and then heading on into the next station.
Okay, the one thing that a few years ago, I guess it's been really here, we did it at Middle Tennessee, was that we used to tell them at 8 yards to pop their eyes. We told them at 10 yards to pop their eyes, and then guys don't know what 8 yards are, okay? They don't know what 10 yards are. If you're on the line, some of them can figure it out. If you ain't on the line, they're fucking going 4 plus 3 is 2 plus 1. They can't figure it out. So we said 4 steps, because what we did was that even if he's in soft coverage, if he's a cover 3 corner, we could be running 100 miles an hour full speed and pop our eyes on the 4th step, okay? If we're in press, The 4 steps still work. You're not counting the steps on the release. So as he's closing the gap, working, bam, 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 it doesn't start until he takes that step after the release. So that now is the first step. 2, 3, 4, eyes. The biggest mistake that guys make in this drill, because there are some mistakes that they're going to make. The biggest mistake that they make is that once they've cleared this in this drill and he's gone, because he doesn't run with him in the drill, he stays here, okay? So as I'm up the field, the biggest mistake they make is they turn their body. When you turn your body to look for the ball, what does it do to your legs? It slows you down. So now I'm running karaoke. If I run up the field and I turn my body, I'm running karaoke. Now I can't adjust to a football. So we want them to turn your eyes. Don't turn your body. So I run, keep my speed, turn my eyes, and then when the ball's in the air, that's when I adjust my body to the throw. Okay? All right, go ahead and give them a demo. And then that's the perfect rep. The perfect rep is to where the ball is placed, to where that when he catches the ball, it spins him. That's the perfect rep. If it spins him, it's a perfect rep. If the ball is there, that's not a perfect rep. It might be a good rep that he had to catch it, but it's not the perfect rep. If the ball is inside, it's not a good rep. It's a wasted rep. The quarterback didn't do a good job. This is not easy. Quarterbacks have got to work their ass off to be good at back shoulder. So you got to ask yourself a question. When you do this drill, 7 out of 10 kids may not be worth a shit at it. You may have 4 quarterbacks and only one of them can complete 50%. But what you got to decide is, can your starting quarterback develop a relationship with one receiver, maybe 2? And if they can, it's worth it, because you can kill people with back shoulder throws if you get good at this. And you'll see that's the one thing we take great pride in. We're as good as anybody in America at throwing versus press and then throwing back shoulder throws off of it. So now he's done this cycle. He's caught the ball. He trots up. He hands it off to Gino. And Gino is now coaching the second cycle of Welker.
All right, so here the same coaching points as before, except for now, we're taking a 2-step out. All right, so we're here. Now instead of being on the inside, I'm on the outside of it. Okay, but on this, so I'm saying a little bit further back, it takes a little bit more to get out of the route rather than sling. So here you'll see, goes, stick, good, welcome straight to the perfect, good. And same deal here, you want to be consistent with your verbiage, the same as you were on the inside, you want to be the same on the outside. All right?
So that's the second phase of Welker. The first phase of Welker when they first come through is an inside cut. Second phase of Welker is an outside cut. Same thing. And Gino does a great job on every single rep of telling them Welker, Welker, Welker. We ought to trademark that and make money off of it.
All right, when they come back to this phase right here, okay, the running backs will be the first one back here that's going on their second route, okay? They will also, you remember when the receivers came up, they did their fast screen, okay? Running backs didn't get a chance to do that. So when and we do that in our offense, they have to perform a fast screen. So now this is their opportunity to get that part of it, okay? But now we also add a finish to it, okay? I'm over here with the pad right now, all right? When they catch it, they know the ball's going to be in that outside arm, okay? They catch it now, I'm the safety that's coming down. When they catch it, they're coming up, and they're going to finish through the safety, okay? We always say we want to get the first punch in, all right? So that safety coming down, he thinks he's getting ready to hit you, but right at the end, you're going to dip and lift, and you're actually going to hit him, all right? So when they catch the ball, it starts off them going up the field just like they're going to score. But then as I get closer, you're going to see he's going to change direction, and he's going to actually go into the safety. All right, he's going to go into safety, and he's going to hit him. All right, that's the best way to break tackle. Not to break tackle is just going up the field and let the safety come and knock you out of bounds. You go up and you dip your shoulder and you finish into him, and you're going to see when he dips his shoulder, he's going to come up, and his knees are going to go up. All right, and the drill doesn't finish right here. Okay? If the drill finishes right here, that means that the safety tackle is. No, you got to expect to break that tackle. So once you dip and lift, you continue to run and you go score. Okay? It doesn't end right there. So this is when the running backs are up. They're going to do their fast screen. Bam, he's coming, he's up the field, now he attacks him. Bam, and he goes up and he scores. You see he got low and he came down. Ball was still in the outside arm. He still had it 5 pressure points, ball security. You got to watch that too. I know you want to teach the end, but you got to watch, make sure that they have ball security the whole time. Okay? So don't do that. When the receivers come up, because they already did that, we'll simulate the tunnel. Okay, we'll simulate the tunnel screen. So they'll run up here to where they'll catch the ball right here at the cone. When he catches it, now he's doing the same thing. He's going up the field. Okay? So he's over there, he's running towards the quarterback. Running towards the quarterback, he catches it, he's up the field, and then again, he's going to finish it. So now we got the receivers did both of their screen, their fast screen and their tunnel screen, and they got a chance to work ball security, and they got a chance to finish.
Good deal. And then the final thing is, as they go back here, you got back shoulder one more time as they go back down. So they've got back shoulder here, and then finally when they're back to Wolf, he's either done, he's already showed you both things that he does. He's done one time the blocking drill, and then he's done the low pad level adjustment drill on the other. Anybody have a question on pat and go? So we've started off, we've had 2 minutes of perfect drill. We've had basically 6 or 7 minutes, depending on how many guys you got. It could be 4 or 5 minutes, how many are going through the cycles of the stations of pat and go. When that is over with for us, the next thing that we do in the flow of our practice drill is that we then go to goal line routes, okay? Goal line routes to us is that we start on the 3-yard line usually, 3, 4, 5, 6-yard line, and we're now going in towards the end zone. We had a dramatic change in how we did this year to try to save the legs of our receivers. And I think it worked incredibly well. I didn't know if it would. You might not be able to do this, and then again you might. But here's what we did. If you notice, all the trash cans are labeled now. So we've got an X, an H, an F, a Y, and a Z trash can. We've got balls in each one of the trash cans, okay? And then what we did was we got, the booster club mom here. We got the equipment manager that's a better athlete than anybody on the team there. We got the young girl that's assistant trainer here. And we've got Johnny the banker here. And then we've got Joe Blow here, okay? So we got 5 guys that we're now training to be professional snappers. So for us, those professional snappers are obviously student workers that are going to school at Middle Tennessee, and they're here and they're working, in football. And so what we do is that we teach those student snappers how to snap the ball. And they can be motherfucked too, okay? We let them know early on that, this is not a fucking playhouse deal. And most of them pretty well know already. And so teaching them to snap the ball is very important. We want them to take a knee. We want the ball up over their head, and then what they do is that I've called the play. So I go, hey, we got north, flame pop, whip, double XZ, north, flame pop, whip, double XZ. And so now just Brent's the quarterback. I got my student here, and then what the snappers are all looking at is they're looking at me. Because I don't want anybody moving on voice. I want people moving on the snap of the ball. So all the receivers are looking inside at the ball, snapper's looking at me, and I do that, and 5 balls need to be simultaneously snapped at the same time. Okay? Now, a couple of things. All right? In the perfect world, we've got 3 or 4 guys at Y, 3 or 4 guys at Z, 3 or 4 at H, 3 or 4 at X, 3 or 4 guys at running back. In the perfect world. Y'all aren't in a perfect world, right? You've got 2 running backs, you got 3 inside receivers, 4 inside receivers. You go and watch, you can't coach them all. You don't have this many coaches. It's not a big deal. What you do is you improvise. You do nothing but the Y and the Z at the one time. You have 2 snappers, but you still use the trash cans. But here was the little nugget that we did. What I saw was that over the years, we would do this drill and say we're doing it out on the 35-yard line. Shane would catch a corner route back here in the end zone. He just busted his butt, and he just ran as fast as he could, as long as he could. Now he's got to run back and jog back 35 yards down the field, take a knee, and he's now the snapper. That's the way that we've always done it. And so what I thought was, in the matter of a week, how many 35-yard jogs did he have that wasted his legs, that gave us no value? And the answer was a bunch. So if I wanted to save their legs and to make them fresher on game day, what I decided to try and do was to see when Shane caught the ball and got to the back of the end zone, is he just went and stayed in the back of the end zone with his ball. Okay, because I got my professional snappers up here. He doesn't have to come snap. So he's in the back of the end zone with the ball. Then the next group goes. Then the next group goes until we're done. When we're done and we finish this drill, then instead of going back in, we turn it around and we go out. So again, imagine, you know, we do our goal line deal and we go 3 yards going in. Well, now these guys are all in the back of the end zone. When it's done, we turn it around and we go out. So now I'm running a quick game play, and I got, hey, we got north, stick right, 33 left, north, stick right, 33 left, okay? So again, we got the same thing, and all the snappers are all looking at me. They all snap. All 5 balls are thrown at once, are going through read progression. Quarterbacks are going through read progression. But again, here they all are down here. Come on down here, guys. And then, Tyler, you're going to show us how we do this. So they're 35 yards down the field now, right? And then I say, all right, hey, ball's on the 27, so just grab one of them. Ball's just one of them. 27, so they come running. They set the trash cans on the 27. All the receivers are down here, and we didn't waste their legs running back, and now we get double the reps, half the time, and I save these guys' legs. Does that make sense? So that was a little nuance that we did right there. So let's go back down here again. All right, so we're doing goal line routes. So I've got whatever goal line stuff it is that I'm doing. So we're running those routes, going through those concepts, and we're running whatever our goal line concepts are that we're doing. Then we're turning around, and usually when I'm coming out, we're doing quick game. All right, then we get to the last 4 or 5 minutes of it, and let's move it out to about the 11-yard line. So we come out here, and we're going to be in rubs and picks, okay? We want to get good at rubs and picks, and the reason we want to get good at rubs and picks is because, no offense to Shane, he runs, 4.6, 4.7, something like that. We didn't have a tremendous group of guys that were going to win against man coverage versus press. And so we had to get really, really good at rubs and picks. So to do that, at the beginning of the year especially, is that we would get now to this part of the phase. And so I would now go, hey, we've got North Flame Pop, Oregon double, North Flame Pop, Oregon double. And that was just a new verbiage. Oregon meant this. Outside receiver is rubbing for the inside receiver. Oregon, outside receiver, rubbing for the inside receiver. Okay? And so normally when we would do this drill, I could do both sides at the same time, or I could do just one side if I wanted to coach both sides, if I wanted to see both sides in order to be able to do it. But a couple of big, huge points on running this drill and running the rub routes is you got to have coaches that are watching people's eyes. Shane is phenomenal at it, did a hell of a job at it. We had 2 or 3 other guys that did a really good job, and the rest of them suck at it, okay? Because we weren't great coaches until, time went on. So right now, if they're running Oregon, that means that they're going to run an out concept at 5 yards to where the outside guy is rubbing for the inside guy. The biggest problem in doing this is for the mesh of the timing of these 2 guys. So if I've got press, Silvoy, or one of you come over here and press, I've got press on him, and this guy's beating his ass up, okay? He almost always has a soft cushion. Inside receivers for us most of the time don't get pressed. Usually they've got a soft cushion. So what that means is that Shane has to buy time so that he can get there for the rub. So he tries to set it up. So the most important thing, you guys can see it here, is that the most important thing for them is that they've got to use their eyeballs. Shane has got to use his eyes to watch Wolf. Wolf's going to press up the field with his eyes, ready, and hit. He works up the field with his eyes, keeps them inside. He's trying to run through the upfield shoulder. Shane keeps his eyes on the inside receiver to see when he breaks, or the outside receiver. Shane's got his eyes on him so he can see when he breaks, and then he comes right off of his ass. And then the other thing that we changed this year that really helped us at the end of the year was we started saying, if we're going to rub, let's rub to score. Let's don't rub just to get a first down. So rubbing to score meant we were going to take the high shoulder, this shoulder pad, and hit it and make him go under us rather than making him bump over the top. If he bumped over the top, he was going to have to run over the top to avoid the collision, and that was fine. That means that we're going to get a good first down. You'll see a great first down that Shane got on a 4th and 1 that we got when they thought we were going to punt the ball. So we would do Oregon to the right, Oregon to the left. All right, now Silvoy go be the H or the Y, or Shane can be the H and you can be the Y. All right, now I want to rub. This is the easier rub, is I want to rub with these two guys because that's easier because they almost always get softer coverage. He gets pressed still. So now I want to run the out concept rub with these guys, and so the verbiage changed from Oregon, because that's outside receiver rubbing, to Ohio. Okay? Ohio was still an out concept with the Y and H rubbing. The H is now going to rub for the Y. So basically Z is out of this. He's just going to work his release, and he's working man trying to catch a press fade. These two now are working in cohesion. So Shane has got to keep his eyes on him. Silvoy's got to keep his eyes on his guy. Ready and hit. They work together. Timing. Bam. Press up the field. Outside hip. And then that's the way that we can run an out concept rub from there. Okay? All right, go back to 2x2. And the other concept, which is not as good, or at least it wasn't for us, is to where that we would go Iowa, okay? Iowa means that we're now going to rub. This guy, the inside receiver, is going to rub for the outside receiver. Okay, the depth is still going to try to be the same at around the 5-yard mark. Shane is going to release vertical with his eyes on him. He's going to set up versus press a diamond release. It's Shane's job to make it happen, and it's the outside receiver's job now to come off of his ass. Ready and hit. Eyes up. He's chasing him. Upfield shoulder. Come off of it, and that is our other rub that we're going to rub from there, and that's actually what we call a pick when we do it from that area. Okay? And then the one other one that we would have would be what we called Michigan. And then Michigan just basically meant that we were going to rub for the last man inside, man in the middle, okay? It eventually started man in the middle, Mike linebacker, is that we're going to rub for him, so the last receiver in this case is the running back. So I might call a play, and I might go, hey, out left, Michigan right, out left, Michigan right. So when I ran that, I've got a zone play left, and I've got a man rub concept back to the right side. Okay? So I might, so I've got Michigan. So now he's going to run his arrow route out of the backfield. All right? And the inside receiver and the outside receiver both are going to go get his man. Now, why do I do that? Because sometimes he misses. So if he misses, he's got him. So right now, again, if he's got press, he's working his release and his eyes are inside. His eyes are inside. Jeff has got one-on-one with the backer right there, ready, and hit. They work the release. Eyes are inside. Bam, bam. We're going to get him with one of these two fuckers, okay? If they both miss them, then they should, we should fire both of them as they do it, all right?
The end, or they don't do that?
The end peel. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, well,
no.
The one thing Brent brought up is that what if you get man, okay, which is we had it actually, there's one of the cut-ups tomorrow on there actually, where we run a Michigan and the DN bails out with the back and goes with the back. It's the outside receiver's guy. The inside guy can't see it. The inside guy's gone, so he's gone. It's the outside receiver's job to see it, to peel off of it, and to take him. So you'll see one of those clips actually tomorrow when we show you this, okay? We can also do these with rollouts. We can call rodeo or lasso to it, roll out to either side of it for the man rubs. If you're going to get a lot of man press, the biggest question that I always get when the playoffs come in, you guys are playing, somebody will call me and they'll go, Coach, you know, we're playing a team that's going to play man press and they got a lot better athletes than us. You can't just on one day get ready for that. You got to practice August the 1st for that team. You got to practice pat and go, press, better athlete versus me. I got to practice pat and go. And then when I get in December, the first week, and we're in the semifinals, I've practiced 16 weeks to get ready for that one day. You can't just do it that week. Okay? And you got to practice the rubs from the beginning of the season until the end of the season. You can't just put them in 1 week. You know how I know? Because I've done it. And they suck. Because you can't do it. It takes a lot of work and a lot of practice. Anything I'm missing on rubs? Okay. So we do that at the beginning of practice. We've got the goal line routes. We've got that. And then all of a sudden, all this took place. It was somewhere around... that's about another, 12 minutes? Something like that we get for that. And now it's time to stretch. Okay? We've been on the field for 30 fucking minutes wearing their ass out. Now we're going to get loose. Okay? Well, they're fucking loose, right? So we do our stretch deal and they do all that stuff. And then when stretch is over, there's a couple things that happen. We normally... When stretch is over at the beginning of the year, Coach Stock will want to do tempo. And so when stretch is over, we might go immediately to tempo, to where we start at the goal line. The ball's on the 1 yard line coming out, and we're going to run 6 plays down the field. We're going to gain 15 yards no matter what, as fast as we can down the field. Okay? And then when that's over, we normally are doing special teams somewhere in there at the beginning, in the middle, and or at the end. There's usually normally around 4 to 5 5-minute periods of special team stuff that we're going to have. Okay? All right, so now when we finish this first phase now, where are we at, Bulls? Okay, so routes on air, we've finished our stretches, we've finished special teams, we come back, and we're going to do routes on air, which is exactly what you just saw. Same trash cans, just running a different concept. So we're going to run a 90-game concept, so let's just do one real quick. So we got north, and we've got stop, okay? We've got north, and we've got stop. We got 5 snappers. You got the dig, Shane. Ready, and hit. Everybody goes through reads. First ball is thrown, second ball is thrown, third ball. Balls should be thrown in order of what the read progression is. Quarterback should be going 1 read, 2 read. If he's throwing the swing or shoot, then he's on the 3rd read in the progression. Again, they stay at one end. Then I do another route coming out of the goal line. So we're going to do 90 series routes from that part there. After we've done that, we're now at screens. So now we're at screens. All right, so there's 2 ways that we do screens, and this is going to be on your film tomorrow. So I got, hey, north, 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 north. We take all the trash cans out of the way. And let's start down here the old way, and then we'll go to the way that we did at the end of the year. So this is how we did it at the beginning of the year. We got first cone here on the left hash. We got north, 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 north. I got missile left 1, missile left 1, north, 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 missile left 1. O-line is with us. We scored. Now we're back up to the second group. South, 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 south. We've got missile right 2. So now we've moved about 15 yards up the field, going fast tempo, lining up. If we have scouts, we've got the scouts there. The other thing we have is 2 quarterbacks throwing. Okay? So right now, Brent's in and I'm in. Brent tells me what he wants me to do. We've got missile right 1. What do you want me to do? He tells me I've got the missile. I'm the other quarterback. Why? We've got the O-line blocking for the missile. I want my backup quarterback getting the same reps he's getting. So right now, he's told me that, so we're going through it. So he's now caught the ball on the backside. We're now on the third screen. O-line's hustling. I got quads left, quads left, quads left, quads left. I got fire, solid left 2. Fire, solid left 2. I'm the backup quarterback. He tells me to throw the snap, so I'm throwing the snap to the backside. We run missile back. These guys have now run 3 plays, okay? 3 plays. They're now trotting back. The next group is up. The second group is up. We're running 3 plays and moving down the field. This is the way that we've done it for the last probably, 2, 3, 4 years, something like that, moving the ball down the field. The first group, when they go, we want them to go against scouts. Our scouts have gone 3 plays down the field. If you got scouts, they've gone 3 plays. Might be, again, the parents, guys that played 4 years ago, whoever. Might be coaches holding trash cans. Sometimes it's our coaches that are doing it. They've gone down the field for 3 plays. If you get 3 good plays out of scouts, that's fucking good. Okay? They're dead, they're done, they're tired, they're off the field. The next group is going against air and coaches. So, like Silvoy's over here coaching, Gino's over here coaching, our O-line coaches are here, they're calling out, there's a 3 here, Shay here, Mike's here, bam, bam, bam. They're telling everybody, the imaginary people, and they're going down the field and they're running the plays. So we do that in screen game, and then we do the same thing in run game. Okay, so we'll go down, let's just do 2 plays in run game. Here we go, we got quads left, quads left, quads left, quads left. We got stretch right, bubble left, stretch right, bubble left, stretch right, bubble left, stretch right, bubble left. Now I'm with Brent. Okay, so Brent is in the run game, starting quarterback. He's doing the handoff. I'm the backup quarterback, so I'm throwing the bubble. Here we go. North, 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 north. North, 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 north. Power right, 53 left. Power right, 53 left. Power right, 53 left. He tells me he's got the front side, I've got the 5. Another coach has the 3. And then we've run the third play, and we're back again. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to go fast. We're trying to get as many fast plays as we can. We're trying to get looks. We've got scouts up. We're trying to get the looks that we want, but we're really working on tempo and then trying to coach. All right, so now it's the middle of the year. We fucking suck, okay? We've got players hurt left and right. We're bad. We ain't blocking worth a shit. We're not doing anything worth a shit. I say, what are we good at? And the answer is nothing. We suck. So if you suck at everything and you can't figure it out, then you better look at yourself in the mirror. So I look at myself in the mirror and I go, you know what? You're the worst fucking coach in the history of football. And that's what I told myself every fucking day. I look in the mirror and I said, you suck. You're fucking horrible. How can you get better? What can you do to make this work? Figure it out. You're supposed to fucking do it. Figure it out. So that's what I tried to do. So I said, you know what? We're going to slow this shit down. I'm going to coach every motherfucker on the field until I figure this shit out. And everybody's going to hate my fucking guts. And so I turned into what I call a monster. Okay? So I became a human being that I don't even like. I hated the human being that I was. But what I hated worse than the human being I was not being a good coach. I hated losing. I hated these kids losing. So I said shit, did shit that, you know, probably ain't right. Right? But it kind of worked. Right? So now, at that point, what we're trying to do now is get this set up right. We're not in a hurry to move down the field. We're not moving anywhere. We're running one play, and that fucking play is going to be run right. And it's going to be the best fucking coach play in the history of football. And if it ain't, we're running it again. And when that play is run, then the next group is going to run the same fucking play. And if this guy's sitting back here is Shane's backup, and Shane's playing Y, and I'm the backup Y, and I just motherfuck Shane and he came up here, and let's say we ran solid, and Shane went push kick, and let's say that when he got there, he didn't get his feet hot, and I rip his ass and call him everything in the sun. And then the next guy comes up and does the same thing, then it's going to be total eclipse of the fucking sun, okay? Because that ain't the way it's supposed to be. And so all the coaches know that now we're in this stage of survival, of getting better. And I'm trying to teach young coaches, you're going to get your fucking ass fired. I don't know if you know that or not, but you will be fired. You will not have a job. You may have children, they will not eat. So motherfucker, coach, okay? Coach better, because that's the business that we're in. It may not be nice. May not be, you know, I didn't get any fucking Christmas cards this year. No kids came to see me and say, Coach, I really fucking love you, okay? But I don't give a fuck. The bottom line was we needed to win some fucking games. Shane deserved to go to a bowl game and to win a bowl game. And that was my job, was to try to do that. So what happened in the process is that when we got to this stage is that every coach on our staff picked up their game. Every coach on the staff got better. We coached here, old school 1973 football. And that's what we needed to get better. And we got better. Even when we didn't win, we got better. We got better at what we were doing, and I wasn't pissed at them anymore. I was proud of them. They fighted and they competed. So when you watch the film tomorrow, you're going to see us do it both ways, moving the ball. And if we're good next year, that's what we'll do. If we're not good, then we'll old school, we'll stop it, we'll coach it again, and we will be old school fucking football, because we're still in the South. We can do some shit. At Cal, if I did some of this shit, I'd been in the goddamn USA Today, okay? But we can still do shit here in Tennessee, right, Shane? That's right. We stay in Tennessee, we can do some old school shit, all right? So now, go ahead.
One thing real quick. This position right here, the guys that were in my meeting room, you understand this. But right here, this position, the guy that's playing here was probably playing linebacker the week before, or probably playing wide receiver. So in order to get more reps out of this position, when we got to this real quick, Tyler, come and be the F that's in, he's actually running the play, all right? I had another F behind him that would mirror that same play right here. So this guy that was playing linebacker last week, he can now mirror the play and get a rep in, okay, before he actually gets in there and has to run the play. All right, that way he gets a rep in, gets a mental rep, gets a physical rep in, and now he's in there running the play. Now the next guy that was probably playing receiver, when he's in there, now he's back there getting his mental rep. That's how you get more reps in there when you have other guys. So if you have guys going both ways, guys that's on defense that plays for you can get him back there and get a mental rep in there while they're doing that.
That's a great coaching point, because this is what you guys have to do every year. It's what we had to do this year as college coaches. We had injury after injury after injury after injury. So we were literally taking linebackers, guys they were going to convert to defensive linemen and moving them to running back, receivers and moving them to running back. People were moving all over the place. And then we had to try to get a little tougher. You know, we had to try to get a little tougher, because there's a lot of excuses to lose if you want to find them, and you do it. So we did this without moving. We did screens the same way. So we did screens and run game in doing this. When this is over with and this part of practice is over with, the next thing that we do normally is one-on-ones and inside. So when we do this, the way that you guys again will see this tomorrow. So Shane, you and Wolf be over there. Wolf, you're the defensive back. You can do it two ways, okay? If we're early in the season, okay, come over here, you two. You're the Y and you're the defender, okay? So if we're early in the season and we have, say, 3 guys in a group that need reps, I'll do 2 at a time. So we'll have 2 quarterbacks at a time, 2 receivers at a time. And so what I've got to be able to do now is call the play to where that the balls don't make these guys run together to where that there could be an injury. So if I run out, for example, I'll go outright Z takeoff. And what takeoff means to him is there's no foot fire. Okay? So I've got to call the play for Shane just to release and go and run right now, so that when he runs the out concept, Shane's not foot firing, because if 2 balls are thrown now, they're going to collide with each other over here. All right? So I call the concept and we do it. Those guys, run the routes. Hopefully they win. And then the left side goes. Okay? So we'll have the same thing on the left side. If the year is going on, what we do as the season goes on to do one-on-one is that we have guys during the season that may have had so many reps that two things. Number one, we can't afford to lose anybody else anymore. Okay? Or B, they don't need the rep, but the backup needs the rep, or the third team guy needs the rep. Somebody else needs the rep more than they do. We only get 5 minutes during the week to do one-on-one, and my number one goal now is not to get somebody hurt, because DBs are all the same, okay? No offense, all the DB coaches in here, I'm sorry. Run or fade. We tell them, whatever you do, stay up, stay up, stay up. The ball's being thrown. He dives, comes down, knocks his feet over, breaks his ankle, and does all that because he's being competitive. He's doing what he thinks he's supposed to do. And even if they don't do that and they're not competitive, sometimes they're just shitty athletes. And so that's when you get guys hurt. And so we try in one-on-ones to make sure if there's somebody that we can't afford to get hurt, then they don't get up and go. And so this year we didn't do nearly as many one-on-ones. In the meantime, they're doing inside drill, okay, the same way that everybody else does it, and we're doing that. When one-on-one and inside is over with, the next thing that we'll do is do pass skelly. When we do skelly, the big thing that we do that I'm sure that you guys do now is we move the football. So if we start the ball back on say the 40-yard line, is that we're going to move the ball down the field. Now, we usually start it back on what, about the 25 or 30, depending on where it is, and we're going to move it down the field. So we might have, we're going to run, stick right. Shane catches the ball, he gains, 10 yards, whatever, or they pick it off, it doesn't matter. Next ball's up on the right hash. Then we run the next play, and it's on the left hash, 15 yards up. We're going all the way down the field. We get into the red zone. It may be that it's early in the year and they don't want to do red zone defense yet. And we don't run a play. But if as the year goes on, we get down inside the 20, 15, 5, wherever it is, we'll run the ball all the way in, and then the offensive line is over doing one-on-one, okay?
One thing about that, when we do skelly, we have our managers that go down and we actually use a line of scrimmage tape with this. The reason why we do that is just so we can get our spacing correct. So I'm assuming everybody's done skelly without that. Sometimes your inside wide receivers are actually lined up about where your tackles would be. So we use that line of scrimmage tape so we can still get our spacing and get everything correct, from even the receivers lined up correctly, still getting the right depth with our quarterback and our running back.
Good deal. Okay, and then what? And then we do team, and normally once the season goes on, our team is usually separate. But again, I know a lot of you guys, y'all aren't doing that. If you're a normal high school coach and you got 40 players out for the team, you're doing your offensive day and you're doing your defensive day. On your offensive day, you've got an hour period of offense and 30 minutes of defense. On your defensive day, you've got it flipped the other way. All that stuff is just adjustable as to how you run the routine. But what we wanted to do today is, before you see all this tomorrow, and I know you got a lot of the drill stuff today, is we wanted to come and to let you see it and walk through it, get a better feel for it, and see the adjustments that we make every year. Anything else? Coach Silvoy? Guys? Coaches, questions? Anybody with questions? Anybody got anything? All right.